a Texas attorney, so anything that I discuss on this TikTok only applies to Texas. And honey, I got some tea for my non-custodial parents, so come in, sit down, get comfortable. Since I'm giving out the tea, don't forget your tea. Okay, so starting September 1st, your county or your municipality, of course if you live in Texas, can now issue a fine up to $500 for those interfering with child custody orders. More specifically, Texas Family Code 157.551, also known as House Bill 969, is a code that you can look and read on your own about this new code that's coming into effect on September 1st. More specifically, the state of Texas is basically recognizing that the courts are backed up, and they understand that you litigants need a different way or a different remedy to enforce your child custody orders.
Ladies, get on in here. Fellas, y'all can come on in too. Just sit in the back. Don't make too much noise. Stop denying these fathers their legal visitation time with their kids.
What if the non-custodial parent does not pick up the child on the visitation day and tries to pick them up on the next day?
I only wanna come over, put it on them. I got that whoa na na na. Locked up, they won't let me out. No, they won't let me out.
The law has always been against men and in support of women in almost every situation. For example, it is easier for a woman to get off free after falsely accusing someone of rape than for a man who was falsely accused of rape to go off. And even when he does, he still gets stigmatized by the society as a rapist. But recently, some states in the United States are finally passing laws that are finally in favor of the men. And oh boy, that has been long due. I'm sure you've heard about Florida getting rid of the permanent alimony, and also Tennessee passed a law into bill where women can go to jail for false paternity. And now Texas has gone after those bitter single women who try to keep the children from seeing their dads. Now this is a law that gladdens my heart, and the entire country, not just Texas, needs to do the same, and also the fine needs to get higher than just $500, because these women won't learn any other way. When a family tears apart and the parents separate, the court rarely cares about the man and demands him to make alimony payments to her. If she wins custody of the kids also, which is often the case, he then has to pay child support again. After going through all these, many modern women, the baby mamas will still decide to not allow the man to see his kids when he's permitted to.
So you know I gotta call the baby mamas out. If you are withholding that child from their daddy, you better hope your county don't put this law into effect. And if you are being denied possession of your children, or if the other parent is withholding the child and you have a custody order in place, give me a call and let me fix it.
I found a video on TikTok where a case like this happened, and I hope it will give extra motivation to the men out there with baby mamas who are not allowing them to see their kids. This time they have the law on their side and they have to use it.
Ladies, get on in here. Fellas, y'all can come on in too. Just sit in the back. Don't make too much noise. Stop denying these fathers their legal visitation time with their kids. Stop. And I am only talking to the people who have a court order in place. If you do not have a court order, it is a free-for-all. Do whatever it is you want to do. And if you don't have a court order and you don't like how things are being done, hire an attorney and get you one. For my ladies who do have a court order in place, let me tell you what happened in court today. Let me warn you again. So I had a hearing today. My client's spouse took all the money out of their joint bank account. Different story for another day. But we were there pretty early and there was another hearing going on. So the hearing was an enforcement, and like I've told you many times on this page, that an enforcement is a lawsuit that you file when someone is violating the court order. So if someone isn't paying you child support on time, you file an enforcement. If someone isn't letting you see your children, you file an enforcement. If someone isn't letting you see your children, you file an enforcement. So at this particular hearing, the father had filed an enforcement because he was not able to see his kids because the mom had been withholding them. I've told y'all many a times, the videos are posted, that one of the main punishments for an enforcement is jail time. The slammer, the clanker, clank, clank. You know what happened at the end of that hearing? She was sentenced to 10 days in jail. Mother's Day is Sunday. She will spend Mother's Day in jail. It ain't worth it. Let these men see their kids. It ain't worth it.
It is pathetic that these women have to be jailed or fined before they know it is not right to deny a father from seeing their children or denying the children the needed fatherly love and guidance. I made a video recently about the effects of denying these kids fatherly love and the statistics of how many of those kids end up. You can check it out when you are done watching this video.
If you have a real legal, valid reason for withholding your kids, then you have to do something about it. You have to file a modification, bring it to the court's attention, and ask them to modify that court order. Ask them to change visitation, maybe to no overnights, or maybe if it's really serious, supervised visits. But you can't just do nothing and just violate the court order. You have to do something, or this is what you'll be hearing outside of your front door. And seeing blue and red lights. And you don't want that.
But they really can't do that now, can they? Because the men rarely have actual problems that make the baby mamas not want the kids to meet them. This act of preventing dads from seeing their kids mostly comes from a place of bitterness within these women. The same woman who slept with the father, got pregnant, kept the baby, and gave birth to his baby suddenly thinks the father is not trustworthy enough to see the kid? Very rare. Most women do not know how to react when dumped or denied marriage. They try to do whatever they can to get back at the man. I have talked to many kids who told me about how they hated their fathers because he's deadbeat and how he treated their mom and never came around to see them. With further questioning, I realized they never witnessed their dads do any of these or maltreat their mom. It is just stories they heard from. Guess who? Yeah, their mums. They soil these kids with their bitterness and turn them against their dads. This is what Texas saw and said, no, it shouldn't be so.
And I don't want the custody of the parents to be weaponized.
Yes, sir.
And to just because of your personal problems with your ex, you don't let your children see their other parent. And so I think I want to just say thank you to all of y'all for finally someone coming up with a solution that I hope fixes this. I've heard from many of my small police departments that they can time the calls they get from certain parents by the month that they're going to get called to that house because the certain parent does not want to let them see their children.
I have to applaud Texas and all the men out there who fought for this. It was a great battle, and it is a battle won. And I hope this gets all over the world soon, because you never know the extent these women can go to deny fathers from seeing their kids. They can decide to leave the state of Texas. Hell, some are already leaving Texas as I speak. Maybe till this gets all over the country, Texas can maybe put in place a restriction that won't make these women be able to get around this law by traveling out of the state. And when this law finally gets enacted all over the country, and in fact the world, and I hope it happens soon, we will get to see the presence of more fathers in their children's lives again. Women won't get to prevent fathers from seeing their children any more like they do now. Deny the father from seeing his child and pay a $500 fine or get jailed. Many men, who honestly want to be good fathers, will finally get the chance to teach their kids how to survive in this life properly, without venturing into a life of crime. We have to keep fighting, though. There are still many laws that are against men, and we have to make these leaders see it. This is one of the battles that we have won, and we still have to win the war. Thank you. That will be all for today on Latest Juice. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this video in the comments. I will be checking. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, as it gives the perfect motivation to keep creating contents like this for you. And also click the notification bell so you can be the first to know when I drop a new video. See you again soon. Cheers.